A 5-day pause in the US-Iran war appears to be over. Iran has fired ballistic missiles at American forces in Jordan, while the United States and Saudi Arabia have carried out joint strikes against Iran-aligned armed groups in Iraq. The renewed fighting threatens to derail diplomatic efforts just days after President Donald Trump described talks with Iran as very good.
We're having good talks, so we'll see what happens. I think there's a good chance that something could happen, and if it does, good. If it doesn't, we go back to doing what we were doing 2 days ago.
Iran's Revolutionary Guard said it launched several ballistic missiles at a US airbase and a central command facility in Jordan. The US military said all the missiles were intercepted and the American forces remain on high alert. No casualties were immediately reported. The targeted base is believed to be the same facility where 3 US service members were recently killed. The Revolutionary Guard said the attack would continue unless Washington stopped what it called threats and military action against Iranian interests. At the same time, the US and Saudi Arabia launched joint strikes on several sites across Iraq. Saudi Arabia said the targets belonged to Iran-aligned groups accused of launching drones at Saudi oil facilities in the eastern province and Riyadh. The Saudi Defense Ministry said the operation was coordinated with US Central Command and carried out in response to those attacks. Iraq's Popular Mobilisation Forces, or PMF, said 8 of its members were killed and 4 others wounded. The PMF is an umbrella organization of mainly Shia armed groups. It includes factions closely aligned with Iran, but is also formally part of Iraq's security structure. The group condemned the strikes as a dangerous escalation and a violation of Iraqi sovereignty. The Islamic Resistance in Iraq, another umbrella for Iran-aligned groups, denied any role in the drone attacks on Saudi Arabia. It called the allegations fabricated and threatened to respond to further Saudi military action. Iran has also denied involvement. An Iranian military official told state television that blaming Tehran for every attack on American interests showed a misunderstanding of the region. Iraq is now caught between the competing claims. Prime Minister Ali al-Zaidi has ordered an investigation into whether the drones were launched from Iraqi territory. His government says it will not allow Iraq to be used as a base for attacks on neighboring countries. Al-Zaidi is expected to travel to Saudi Arabia on Thursday. It remains unclear which came first, Iran's missile attack on the US base in Jordan or the joint US-Saudi strikes in Iraq. What is clear is that both happened after 5 days without direct US-Iran talks, a pause that was meant to give mediators space to restart negotiations. Trump had said the talks were friendly, but also warned that he would not wait indefinitely for Iran to reach an agreement. The latest missile attack will now increase pressure on him to respond. Washington has more than 20 naval vessels in the region, many of them involved in its blockade of Iran. Tehran considers that blockade an act of war, and once again, the Strait of Hormuz is at the center of the crisis. Iran has rejected Oman's latest proposal for managing shipping through the waterway. Oman suggested a route divided equally between Iranian and Omani territorial waters, with vessels entering through one side and leaving through the other. Iran proposed something different. Tehran says it should manage shipping in its own waters and also control part of the route passing through Oman's side of the strait. An Iranian deputy foreign minister warned that the waterway would remain closed if Muscat rejected the proposal. Iran's Revolutionary Guard also said it had struck and stopped 3 oil tankers that ignored its warnings and continued along what it described as an unsafe and illegal route. It warned that ships following US instructions would face consequences. Tehran has separately rejected Trump's proposal to compensate vessels damaged by Iran using frozen Iranian funds. The Revolutionary Guard said any company accepting that money would be banned from Hormuz. The confrontation has left commercial shipping caught between competing American and Iranian instructions, with vessels risking interception or attack whichever route they take. Any sustained closure would have consequences far beyond the region. Hormuz carries a major share of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas. Oil prices have already responded. Brent crude rose more than 3% to $86.8 a barrel in early trading. US crude climbed to $81.95. Part of that rise was linked to falling American crude inventories, but renewed military escalation and uncertainty over Hormuz are adding pressure to the market. For Pakistan, higher oil prices would mean a larger import bill, greater pressure on the rupee, and more expensive fuel, electricity, and transport. The latest escalation also came as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met Trump at the White House. Netanyahu described it as one of his best meetings with the US president and dismissed suggestions of disagreement between the two allies. Both leaders said their shared objective was to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. Netanyahu said that goal would be achieved through diplomacy or other means, leaving open the possibility of further military action. Israel was the only country to join the US in directly attacking Iran. Netanyahu's visit, followed closely by Iran's missile launch, suggests that Iran also intended to send a message that it cannot be excluded from decisions about the region's future. After 5 days of relative calm, the conflict is once again moving in several directions at once. Iran is targeting US forces, Washington and Riyadh are striking armed groups in Iraq, tankers are being stopped in Hormuz, and oil prices are rising as diplomacy loses ground. The pause may have created an opening for talks. The latest attacks now threaten to close it.